In the body.
Good morning and welcome. Thank you. Good morning and welcome to the Wednesday, April 8th, 2026 informal meeting of the Savannah-Chatham County Board of Education. I almost said Board of Elections. This is an informal meeting. This is information only. We do not take any votes during this meeting, and we will get this meeting on the way. I will start with we have a board information minute that I have for you this morning. So, board member minute. I'm sorry. On March 10th, 2026. Chatham Literacy Moonshot was officially launched. Moonshot Savannah is a community-wide literacy movement focused on a bold goal: dramatically increasing the number of children reading proficiently by third grade through shared action across schools, families, community organizations, philanthropic organizations, and civic leadership. The Chatham Educational Alliance is serving as the backbone organization, helping lead and coordinate this work in partnership with SCC PSS and the broader community. Our goal is clear. Within 5 years, 95% of our third graders will read on grade level. At the Moonshot Savannah launch, one thing became unmistakably clear: this community is ready to act. More than 225 people attended, including several members of our board. Hang on, lost my place. 77 signed up to join one of the working teams, and there was really electricity in the room. We also saw an unexpected and inspiring investment of $200,000, sparked by Mr. Greg Parker's $100,000 pledge and matched by the community. The inspiration for Moonshot grew out of Superintendent Watts and myself and other community leaders saw during a February 2026 visit to Indian River County, Florida, as part of the Moonshot Summit. Their district leaders and community partners studied a public-private literacy effort led by the Learning Alliance in partnership with the School District of Indian River County. That community has rallied around Moonshot goal of 90% literacy by the end of third grade, and the work has produced notable gains. Indian River reports strong county-wide improvement in early literacy, and Vero Beach Elementary increased third grade reading proficiency from 38% in 2022 to 71% in 2025. This can be done. Since our launch in Savannah-Chatham County, all 5 lines of effort are now underway: early education, classroom instruction, family support, education workforce, and community culture. Anyone interested in joining the Moonshot effort may contact Chatham Educational Alliance at info@chathamea.org. You can go to our website. For those of you who want to help, there are different ways to serve. Community members who want to work directly with students in a way that directly supports literacy proficiency, such as reading, tutoring, or reading mentorship, will need training grounded in the science of reading. We all want to be on the same page. And the science of reading through partner efforts such as Read United Buddies or Love Mentors. Other volunteer opportunities do not require that literacy-specific training and include mentoring, school support, beautification, career day participation, providing supplies and books, and serving as a business or a community partner. Community members can register through SCC PSS's volunteer application and business partner pathways. SCCPSS publicly provides both a direct volunteer application and business partnership opportunities through its engagement and outreach pages. This is how we turn momentum into measurable progress in our work to ensure more students are reading proficiently. Together, as one community united, will yield results. Thank you. That's my board member minute. It's hard to say. Today, we will hear from two of our charter schools. And this is under strategic plan, priority 1, student growth and achievement for choice-filled futures. First, we will hear from Oglethorpe Charter School.
Good morning, everybody. As we have to do every year, report out on our annual report. These are our test scores from last school year, our GMAT scores. And naturally, we are like every school in the state. We want to see as much green as possible and eliminate all the red. And again, these are our ELA scores. We compare to Savannah-Chatham as well as the state. And these are our math scores as we compare to Savannah-Chatham as well as state. Our operational performance, we have an average, this is last year now, this is last year's data. Our average daily attendance was 93.2%. Discipline, we had 317 ISS days served and 294 OSS days served. Primary discipline issue last year was classroom disruption, which is really decreased this year. Our primary discipline issue during the 2022 and 2033 school year was physical aggression, which that was a tougher pill to swallow because we had a lot of issues because of that. So things are definitely getting better as far as discipline. PBIS is fully implemented school-wide. We have a 68% positive to negative ratio in PBS Behavior Support app. This year, we're at 92%, so we track all of the comments that are made positively by the teachers to the students. It's kind of like a token economy with the kids because they get awarded what we call scholar dollars, and we have PBIS events that take place monthly with all the kids, and it's a very, very good program. Our enrollment last year, we had 147 in 6th grade, 264 and 138 in our 8th grade. Transportation, Oglethorpe Charter School does not provide transportation. We did not last year. We are under contract with Kelly Tour Bus Company this year. One of our hubs is at Costco in the West Chatham area. The other one's in Georgetown. Once we got both of those buses, they were filled immediately. And we're looking at trying to add some more of those buses to try to get kids from all over Chatham County. We are set up in our learning environment with 4 teaching teams. We have last year we had a 6th grade team, 7th grade team, 7th grade looping team, and an 8th grade team. We have 2 math teachers on every teacher team, 2 ELA teachers, 1 science, and 1 social studies teacher. We probably offer more related arts than any other middle school. We added piano and film to our related arts offerings this year. Because of our looping model, we had to hire additional related arts teachers when we first started that program. And some of these teachers are doubling up. My theater teacher is doing the film class as well. And then my orchestra teacher is teaching piano as well. Our learning environment continued. We're big on leadership clubs. We have a strong National Junior Honor Society. Our FBLA is a very strong club, and our most prestigious club is our Titan Ambassadors. They are heavily entwined with the city of Savannah. A lot of the kids are on the Savannah Youth Council, and they also spend some time with our mayor every year. We do offer the same clubs every year as far as the number of clubs. However, the clubs themselves do change. This is one of the most favorite things that the kids like to do at Oglethorpe. This happens once a month. We adjust our schedule to where it doesn't affect academic time. We also do other monthly things at the school, school-wide activities such as Grill and Chill. Again, that's done during related arts timeframes to where it doesn't get into math or ELA timeframes or science or social studies. We fund all of our programs, a good portion of them, through Grill and Chill. And then, of course, we have monthly PBIS events, and Philly Flava comes and sees us once every month. Our athletic offerings, we participate in everything that all the other schools participate in. We're looking forward to girls flag football this next school year. We've got a coach lined up for that. Staffing at Oglethorpe, we have 24 core academic teachers, 15 related arts teachers, 6 sped teachers, 6 paraprofessionals, 2 guidance counselors, and 1 counselor clerk, and the rest are ones for the following positions. Last year, we did get all of our TCAS and LECAS evaluations completed on time. Financially, we are sitting the same this year as we were last year. We're in good financial shape. We've got $3 million in our reserve accounts, and we continue to max out our FTE year in and year out, so that we can move our initiative of trying to get all of our teachers in the building gifted certified. Audits, Oglethorpe Charter Schools completed 25 consecutive years of clean financial audits with no material findings. We were clean again this year, and this is based upon last year's data. We had a good audit last year as well. We've got some people with a lot of experience and some people with a few years of experience on our governing board. All these folks are coming back next year. Mr. Brown is our governing board chair. He has 4 years of service. This is his 2nd year as the governing board president. Matt Dowling has 5 years of service. He's served in multiple capacities. He was our CFO last year. And then you've got Lisa Rivas and Regina Rahimi, who have put in a great deal of time and effort into Oglethorpe. Lisa has floated back and forth from president to CFO, and she has to have those credentials to do so from the business side. And then the remaining people on our board are newbies. All board training was completed last year, and as of last Friday, or the Friday before spring break, we have everybody trained except 2 people. So we know that's important. Here's a snapshot of our Titan ambassadors visiting the mayor. And again, these kids have to be in good academic standing, get teacher recommendations to be a part of this prestigious club. We were recognized for a 2nd straight year as a NOAA Ocean Guardian School through our marine science efforts. This is our marine science teacher, Mr. Wells, taking a group from Hogan's Marina to Ossabaw Island. He's tied in with a lot of good things going on at Ossabaw, so our kids get to go out there monthly. And this is our football team. This school year and last school year, undefeated city champions. And we've got some special people that help us with football. You've got right here, this is Dietrich Leggett. Dietrich has been coaching at Oglethorpe since 2016. I have no clue where the man gets all of his energy, because he's an alderman. He also works full-time. His son went to Oglethorpe, and that's what he does every school year, is help us. This particular gentleman right here has been with Oglethorpe since the beginning. This is Reggie Horton. I don't know if anybody knows Reggie Horton. Reggie was a student in Miss Case's classroom at Jenkins High School, a 30-year teaching veteran. And her husband worked for Oglethorpe. Mr. Case, we dedicated the gym to him when he passed away. But Reggie started with us as a manager in athletics. We then hired him you all hired him, because we don't hire the cafeteria people. He worked in our cafeteria at Oglethorpe. His side hustle was with the sand nets in the summertime to earn extra money. They saw how much pride he had in simply doing what his job was, taking out the trash. When the Savannah Bananas took over, he has a contract with them now. He doesn't work for the school system anymore. He's traveled all over the world. He does their pregame speeches, and if you ever watch the Netflix series that showcases the Bananas, you'll see Reggie on there. So, really special guy. That is my presentation. I'll take any questions.
questions?
Yes,
Dr.
ma'am.
Howard Hall and Ms. Hall, sorry.
Yes, thank you. During our retreat, we discussed how to increase student enrollment, and I realized the importance of athletics. Oglethorpe has a way of recruiting. I won't say you recruit, but the children that attend are very motivated to play sports there.
They sure are.
And you won one of your students from years ago. Just tell us about the success of your students, and once they leave Oglethorpe, what opportunities do they have with your football program as well as basketball?
Okay. Yeah, we've been, surprisingly, our very first football coach is here, is Derek Butler. Derek was the first football coach for Oglethorpe, and Derek can attest to this. We had some rough years back there, didn't we? Once we got into our new facility at Central, and we didn't have to bus the kids to practice facilities and everything, things started to take off. And Coach Perry, who is the right-hand person right here, he's been with us for the past 12 years and has won 7 city championships. But here's what takes place in football. If you're a football player, you go to tutorial at 2:40. You're in tutorial with Coach Perry. He's certified in every content area for an entire hour and a half. And then their football practice doesn't start until 4. They're done at 6:30 every night. And this is 5 days a week aside from the game. But what's transpired by this, where most middle schools fail in athletics is keeping the kids academically eligible, because you get to that period in football season, if they're failing, they can't play. So some of your better teams necessarily don't make it to the championship. That being said, we've had one kid this year that signed a $5.5 NIL deal, a $5.5 million NIL deal with Texas Tech. We've got several former players that are playing Division I and Division II football. The premier program for a lot of the football athletes are some of the private schools, Savannah Christian and Calvary. So we send a lot of kids there, but this opens up doors for them in a lot of ways. And even if they go to any other school, they're academically ready to go. The kid that signed the NIL deal, he was far below grade level, and we got him caught up before it was time to go to high school.
So would you say that athletics has a great impact on your school culture?
Absolutely, it does. And sometimes it's tough, because when you've got kids that are wanting to be there specifically for that, they're edgy. They're not the most in the sport of football. You get some edgy kids. So, but it keeps them in check, both football and basketball. It gives them something to look forward to.
Thank you.
Ms. Hall?
This is really exciting to me to see this, and I think about our discussion of baseline experience, and I'm thinking that your 95% attendance rate has a lot to do with all of these club offerings, because I can see the motivation it would put into a kid who wants to be at school, maybe not so much for academics, but because of all these offerings. And we always say the charter schools can show us opportunities that we may not be using as fully as we could here at the mothership. And I really like looking at this Marine Science Club. Dr. Hoskins Brown took me out on the Wilmington River with her one time with one of her classes, and it was exhilarating as an adult. So to see these children where this is part of their baseline experience, it really gives me pause that we have to figure out what's going on at our sites, and are our children getting these baseline experiences that your children at Oglethorpe are getting. So I'm really happy to see this.
Thank you.
Dr. Brinkman?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Wall, and to my fellow board members that have already spoken. Thank you for highlighting the culture that is being built at Oglethorpe Charter School. The state is holding us more accountable to data and objective measures of success for us and for charter schools. We have had discussions as a board on how our future contracts are going to look at objective, measurable change. Charter schools are supposed to outpace the district. The data right now shows that you are not outpacing the district. So I hope in future presentations you can really elaborate on how you are going to try to right that ship so that when your next contract comes up and we are shared data that falls below those metrics that need to be hit, you're above them so that we don't have to make a hard decision, because truly how our contracts are going to be looking, it's not going to be a touchy-feely vote. At least it shouldn't be. It should be based on data and data alone. And currently the data that we're seeing here, attendance great, but academic performance has got to be a large portion of that. So we've got to see how Oglethorpe Charter School is going to show us, because I know you've done it before.
Oh,
Y'all have
absolutely,
outpaced
yeah.
us. So we need to see that when that contract comes back up. You were the first. It would be really hard to raise my hand, but I'd have to follow the data and the metrics on how we're supposed to judge charter schools.
Ms. Campbell?
So, Dr. Brinkman took the words out of my mouth. But also, one thing I would ask, just generically for every charter school that comes to give us a report, et cetera, would be that, so to our great credit in the district, we have on the OCSC website our evaluation renewal form uploaded, showcased right there. It's amazing. I mean, we were on it. We're one of the only schools on the main page that has a link. So I do wish that when presenting any of this data, it would just be helpful for us to kind of know what we're going to be seeing when the time comes up for renewal, because we will be looking at that data. You know, it'll be based on the evaluation form. So in the future, that would be helpful. Also, what kind of interventions do you have? I didn't see them in the presentation for your ELA score. You had 81% below grade level this year. Any interventions?
We absolutely do. During our related arts timeframe, we have 3 related arts classes that work with math and ELA remediation. That's an additional 90 minutes of content time that they get during those timeframes. Also, we have good physical space where if we have to reteach concepts with special education students, we have our SPED teachers, not our paras, in our math and ELA classes to specifically pull them out and reteach concepts to them. We've had a pretty good success rate with growth with kids. We tend to get kids that are further behind in grade level than we would like them to be, but you know, it's strictly lottery. And I do think some of our transportation, we started seeing dips in our scores when transportation was cut, because we used to be able to get, you know, kids from the islands, from every neighborhood in Savannah-Chatham. So we've kind of been pigeonholed with our enrollment since that time frame. But you know, we look for ways with busing that we're going to be able to try to remedy some of that too.
Well, I applaud that effort. I know you guys and Tima, I know some of you have done this on your own, kind of go the bus route, and I applaud that. I also applaud the ability to make academics a priority in these football players' lives by incentivizing it and making sure that they go to tutoring and they're up to snuff, you know, in the classroom as well as on the field. And so I think it's possible that you turn around these numbers, just evidenced by the fact that you're doing it with the football team. But I would like a little bit, I mean, while I think athletics are important and all the electives are great, I would like, you know, a little bit more emphasis on the interventions in the future, just for our benefit. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Okay, so will you go back to your first, the slide that shows your academics? ELA. So to the right, as I'm looking, that is a percentage of your kids that are proficient, correct?
Correct?
To the far left, is that beginning,
Developing them.
developing?
Yes.
Or is that developing or beginning? No, it's not.
To the left of the green and the yellow?
Yes. What is red?
I'm pretty sure red's beginning.
Okay. So, what, and this is for 6, 7, and 8?
Yes.
Okay. So 17% of your kids are proficient in ELA. That's very concerning. And we have seen this over the last 2 or 3 years. I love all the things that you offer. I think it's great. But as Dr. Brinkman said, on the state level, what we are charged with holding our charter schools accountable. And here's my speech I say all the time. You know that I'm the biggest proponent of charter schools. I'm also the biggest proponent of holding charter schools accountable. I know that you're working on some interventions, and I look forward to the results of those interventions because these scores are not acceptable. And this is concerning. But thank you for all that you are doing. And when you get these up, it's going to be even prettier. So thank you. Ms. Hall?
Mr. Wall, talk about looping as a strategy, as a tactic. How is that going, and have you seen a change in achievement with those children who are experiencing that?
It works very well if we can keep that teaching team of 3 together for 3 years. We've been able to do that on 2 looping cycles. But if you lose, 1 teacher or 2 teachers, and the kids, it's a new teacher to the kids. But if you get them to that 3rd year, it's a pretty tight group.
So socially,
Behaviorally, academically, because the teachers know exactly where they are when they start the school year with their academics as well as their behavior.
Dr. Watts, might that be a pilot for us at a couple of schools? I know it's talked about. I don't know if we have any actually in practice, but I do know that's a national exercise that seems to do well. Yeah. And my other question is, tell me about your entering 6th graders. Where are these children mainly coming from, and are they coming in behind at 6th grade, or are they on grade level and don't achieve as they get older? What's
They're
the
coming in.
profile of a
they're-
average 6th grade coming in?
We had 300 6th graders this year, and I would say without hesitation, at least 60% of them are behind grade level and not on grade level. The
you're
concerning
saying
thing to us is the ones that are significantly below grade level that are reading at a 1st grade, 2nd grade level.
But you take children who apply, you don't
Correct.
decide, well, you're not at 6th grade level, so you can't come. You
Correct.
take-
When we have an opening, we pull the name and we enroll that child.
Are there feeder schools, or they come from all over the district?
All over the district. Anybody, our whole entire Chatham County area is our school district for Oglethorpe.
Okay. All right, that's instructive, thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Howard Hall.
I know you have wait lists, and my question is turnover. Do you have many students returning back to their zone schools, or they basically remain there for that 3-year grade span?
The majority of our kids remain there for 3 years. We have some attrition due to behavior, due to parents moving and things like that. But typically, when we get in, we have a good track record of keeping a kid there for 3 years.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Susie King Taylor.
Good morning. I am Dr. Yanis Medina, School Director for Susie King Taylor Community School. And this is our annual board presentation. And these are some wonderful pictures of my scholars. This is our academic performance. This is ready for our progress to annual typical growth. So this is from middle of year in November until spring that we just took at the end of last month. So in reading, we were already performing pretty well at 65%, but we were able to increase that to 83%, so near 20% increase there. Math has been a real focus. So as a school, we are really strong in our literacy. Math has been an area of focus, and so we really have been able to increase our math success, our academic achievement there, and you can see that here where we were at 48% of our scholars showing growth, and then 86% of those meeting that progress to annual typical growth. So we're pretty excited about the growth that we are seeing there. So we have two main strategies and interventions at Susie King. First and foremost, we ensure that we are providing a positive learning environment for all of our scholars. And so like we see, around the world right now, SCL, and making sure that our scholars are really in the right mindset to come to school and they are ready and prepared to learn. So we start every day with our SCL curriculum, and that is our positivity project. And then we offer a free room, and that is just us being proactive instead of reactive for any kiddos who need extra support during any given day or any given time during the school day. We have been, over the past 2 years, making sure that there is high quality instruction. So we did formally move over to our standards-based grading this year with the help of the district, and Ms. Heather DiTomaso and her team have been instrumental in helping us make sure that that was seen to fruition, making sure that we are using high quality instructional materials and that everything is vetted and that we are able to really see it through with fidelity and efficiency. And then we did implement Ignite interventions, and I too was at the Moonshot presentation last month with leadership Savannah and was able to be a part of that. So that was really great. Ignite is something that we only implemented with one cohort of our second grade, and we have been able to see 20% increase between our second grade school or our second grade team who is utilizing Ignite compared to the second grade classroom that was not utilizing Ignite. And so I got my email this morning, and I wanted to share that with you all because I was really excited. So we had some goals, and Ignite, you all know, is really great with providing progress updates and making sure that you are on track to meet those goals. So we have had 86% of our students who at the beginning of the year placed in kindergarten skills, and they have closed out those kindergarten skills and are moving on. 83% of them who placed into grade 1 skills have closed out those skills, and then 75% of our kiddos who were just showing basic alphabetic knowledge have also closed that out. And so we have 80% of our students who are showing progress and are on track to be at the end of second grade level by the time they leave and move on to third grade, so which is really, really exciting as well. So our learning environment, we are a place-based model, so we provide meaningful field experiences to our students prior to learning to establish and build connections to the content area. So all of our kiddos K through 8th grade go on a field experience a minimum of 1 time a month. We do have grade levels that go on field trips weekly. Those are fully funded and built into our budget, so our scholars never have to pay for any field trip. And then we are a peaceful school. We provide schools and strategies that assist scholars in regulating their emotions and building effective relationships to restore the environment. And this is our operational performance. So we are kinder through 8th grade. Our scholar enrollment has held steady at 300 this year. We had a 2% retention rate, which was also really something to be proud about. Our scholar attendance has been at 94%. We only had 7 major incidents this year. Our FRL is at 97%, and this year was the first year that we were operating our own SFA or doing our own food and nutrition in the school. And then near 20% of our scholars are identified with IEPs, and then 10% gifted. And I know that a point of contention with the Savannah-Chatham County Board has been our enrollment and making sure that we are close to our enrollment numbers, and that has been something that we have been working really hard on, and this has been the first year that we have maintained our enrollment of 300. Next year I'm looking at 320, so really listening to you all and making a concerted effort to reach that goal that you all have for us. And then our human resource and financial management, HR updates, all of our TEKSIS and leaks are at 100% completion. We do not have any current vacancies as of when I created this presentation. And then we have no findings during our audit. And we have nearly $1 million, just about under, in our reserves. So our board governance, this is also another area that we have been working really hard to increase our board governance. And so you can see within the past 3 or 4 months, we have added 3 new board members. Mr. Joe Huffman is our board clerk. He has been there for 4 years. Dr. Kristen Cowardy has been there for 7 years, and she is one of our founding board members and is eager to roll off. And then Mr. David Nash is our secretary and student success clerk. He has been there for 3 years. Michael Roach with facilities. Dr. Chris Miller, who works with SCAD, has been there for 4 months. Margaret Williams is with Savannah State University. She has been there for 4 months. And then Mr. Warren Tutty has been there with us for 3 months. And all of them really have been a tremendous support to Susie King. And that is my presentation.
Ms. Hall?
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I didn't think to ask Mr. Wall this when he was here, but rather than just seeing where children are, it's always very good to know where they've come from, what their growth is, and that's something that wasn't in his presentation. I want to suggest I may call him and let's see that. If like in his case, if he's saying that 6th graders coming in were 2 years behind, that's very necessary for us to know when judging how they're doing, where they are now from where they began. So your academic performance is commendable, you know, and I see, especially in the math. Tell me some of the things a couple of things that you did to help boost these math scores?
Absolutely. So we've been really intentional about increasing the rigor of our math, really making sure that our educators understand what the standard is asking. I think moving over into standards-based grading, it really has set the foundation and the tone of what is the verbiage, what is the language, what is being asked, and then for the scholars to also understand, in order for me to get a 3 and show that I am proficient, I need to be able to show these things. And so really using the data to show where those deficits are, what foundational skills are they missing? Is it number fluency? Is it numbers and operations? And then really making sure that our small groups and what we are doing within the scaffolding of the learning is providing us that time to close those gaps so the scholars are able to have more fluency and accuracy, making sure that they have the ability to really process what is being asked and giving them time. I really think it all just comes down to being really intentional on what we are spending time on, and looking in collaborative planning and in these conversations during vertical alignment. That has been something too that we have really increased this year, is making sure that our kinder through third grade teams are meeting with our 4th through 8th grade teams. And when we're getting them in 5th grade, they are really struggling in geometry or really struggling in number and operations. And then our lower grade teams really taking ownership and saying, well, when we are teaching this skill or this standard, we can make sure that we teach more of it or we provide more scaffolded support. So it really is just a team effort and making sure that we are all on the same page and having the same goal in mind of student achievement.
Okay. I sent an Atlantic article to some of our chiefs yesterday. Do your math teachers mainly use pencil and paper, or are they do your children have a Chromebook each like our children do?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ms. Hall. And so this past year, I have asked all of our educators to get rid of the Chromebooks.
Wow.
That was something that
Let me interrupt you for a second.
Sure.
The chiefs who I sent that article to yesterday, this is interesting to hear. I hope you all are tuning in on this. Let me hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the year, I told the educators that they would not be using Chromebooks and that they would be required to go back and teaching, with our textbooks and really going through and making sure that they are using and vetting high quality materials. If we wanted a computer to teach them, we would hire computers, and we don't, right? And so they have to, in their lesson plans, provide details as to why a Chromebook would be used. They have to get permission from the instructional coaches if a Chromebook is going to be used. We really and rarely use them. If they are being utilized, it's for an assessment to assess and receive data, but for the most part, we are not using Chromebooks. We do have them. They are one-on-one technology, and there's bountiful technology, but we really do need to get back to learning how to do things and being able to apply it to the technology when the time is right, and not just be solely resourceful on that.
Board members, I sent that article to you also, and Dr. Watts, I hope I included you. So it would be very interesting to read, but it was about a 7th grade math teacher who did away with the Chromebooks because he found out that helped students pretend to be busy and doing their work when they really didn't understand it. Mm-hmm. And getting to pencil and paper, he could see where they got stuck and know what he needed to do. So if you get a chance, please read that article. So that's very interesting to hear that you've come to that decision. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Dr. Howard Hall, then Dr. Bringman.
Yes, I appreciate the work that you're putting in this year. It seemingly that you're really putting forth a lot of effort to show gains, which will reflect year 26's scores. However, the data from 2025, there's a significant decrease in the overall middle school score. So my question to you is, what is the underlying issue? Why it was really, if you gave it pretty much the GOSA, the score serves as a report card. So that overall middle school score decreased from 71 to 46%.
Yes, so
what-
that was last year's group of educators, and none of them are currently at Susie King, and so that was just a decision that the leadership team had to make as far as whether those educators were in alignment with the mission and the vision of Susie King, and if they were not, then what were we going to do to ensure that our scholars were being supported by the best that we could provide them. And so I also think that that too has something to do with the growth that we have seen this year, because we do have the right teachers in place to help support that.
So in other words, you're saying that you held the teachers accountable,
They should be,
and
yes.
so since the teachers are no longer there, you're hoping to see a significant gain for the next year's data. So just talk about that process when teachers are exited from the charter school in this situation.
Sure. So, we are held to a very high standard. That is what our charter is, right? We are supposed to outperform the district in all the categories. And so making sure that you have the right person in the job who is truly aligned to the mission and the vision of the school, who understands the goal in mind and who is actively working towards that. I think that there are many things that go into consideration when making the recommendation to remove a teacher who you do not feel is adequate. That is very hard, right? Especially in today's current framework where, everybody needs a teacher. But I think when you are able to sit down with them and show them you are provided an hour and a half of planning every day, you are provided 2 instructional coaches, you have been placed on a learning plan, and I am very upfront with the educators. So at the beginning of the year, I tell them this is what our goal is, and at middle of year, if you have not made these gains, you will be put on an improvement plan. And if we do not see those gains from then on out, or if you are not making progress towards that, you will not be offered a contract. And so I think it's just being very honest, being very mindful, and being very intentional of what the requirements are and what you are getting, what you are signing up for, right? If the teachers and the educators know, I am taking a job at Susie King and it means XYZ, and if I do not meet XYZ, I will not be brought back. They know why, and there's plentiful documentation that shows why. No problem.
Dr. Brinkman?
Thank you for your presentation. I will reiterate the same point I made for Oglethorpe Charter School. You've shared some growth numbers. I love seeing growth. I think everybody on this board is great with that, and I know we use different assessments to show growth, but the new regulations coming out of Georgia on how we're supposed to evaluate charter schools are a state comparison. Our district as a whole still has work to do, and we talk about that every board meeting. And so just understand that when contracts come to us, that is a big mover, and numbers are numbers, data is data. So make sure that you're moving towards that state comparison that we are going to have to hold you to.
Absolutely, and moving forward, I can include GMAS data. I just wanted to provide the most recent, accurate information.
Ms. Campbell? Okay.
I would say the same thing about the evaluation tool. It would just be helpful for us and get everyone on the same page so we know what we're going to be looking at.
Absolutely. No, I agree. But we will, on Friday, be getting a literacy banner from Superintendent Woods, so I'm really excited about that growth for last year.
Wonderful. Anyone else? Okay, I think Dr. Brinkman said it for all of us. We know what, from the state, what we are judged on, that charter schools are judged equally. And we look forward. I just have a question from our staff. When we ask them to do these presentations, do we not specify GMAs?
So many of you are speaking about the new evaluation process, and as you know, that is a new development that has just come about within the last year. And while our charter schools are familiar with the new evaluation, and obviously we are in the process of realigning a lot of the practices that we have had in place prior to this year to the new evaluation system. So many of these reports have followed the traditional purporting that you all have seen, but you will see more alignment to the new evaluation. A lot of things are being built in the background, and the state, we've been learning a lot about what the state is rolling out. So you'll see a realignment of a lot of things based on that, but we just haven't gotten to everything yet.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Always a pleasure. Y'all have a great day.
All right. Got it. All right. Don't be shocked, but I will now accept a motion to go into executive session to discuss real estate, personnel, et cetera. All right, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
So Dr. Watts, we'll get,